Okay, you've got me today because Sheldon's off for an event, but I'm going to talk to you about why this market's actually nervous. I mean, if you look at the bubbles, you can see the market's been a bit nervous. Bitcoin trading at around 113,000. I'm still not in the mindset of us getting a correction here. I'm still thinking that this is all just nerves ahead of Jackson Hole, the Jackson Hole Symposium, where Chair Powell is actually speaking. And I think that people are starting to get a little bit nervous about what Chair Powell may actually say at Jackson Hole this week. And that's why what happened this week was we had Bitcoin starting to come down from, if you look at when we actually started to come really down, we started to come really down on Monday or Sunday night when the futures opened. We've got the market starting to come down. And the reason why the market started to come down is because it seems like the market started to get nervous about what Chair Powell would do in Jackson Hole. I think this thing's going to resolve itself. I'm going to show you in a second why I think it's going to resolve itself. And then what I'm going to do is I want to show you a couple of bots that I'm actually setting up in anticipation of this. I'm going to show you exactly the settings that I'm using to set up these bots. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. You guys are actually going to be able to copy them if you want. For those of you who don't want to do the bots, you will see a whole lot of altcoins that I'm following ahead of Friday's Jackson Powell announcement. And you'll see exactly what the levels are and how you can actually trade them. So I'm filling in for Sheldon. I'm going to still be doing a big show later on the channel. But for now, let's get the show going, guys. As someone says here, run man to the rescue. Yeah, Sheldon called me this morning. He's like, listen, I've got an event today. Can you fill in for me or whatever? I was like, Sheldon, with pleasure, bro, with pleasure. So here I am, bringing you a little bit of crypto love and crypto wisdom just before my big show today, which I'm going to be doing in a couple of hours. In my show today, I'm going to dig really, really, really deep into why this market's been so nervous around Jackson Hole. There's like and it's, by the way, as I said to you guys before, it's Jackson Hole, not Jackson's Hole. People in the chat were like talking about Jackson's Hole. It's not Jackson's Hole, it's Jackson Hole. We're going to be talking about why people are actually nervous. I'm not buying this thing yet. I'm not buying these nerves, right? And the reason I'm not buying these nerves is, as I said yesterday on my show, where I said, look, for me, it's very simple. We just put in a higher high on Bitcoin. We had a higher high here. We broke the all-time high and we put in another higher high here. Until we break down below this 111,900 level, I'm nowhere near the camp of a correction, even though I think we are due a correction sometime in September. My base thesis is that this is not the correction. My base thesis is this is just a little bit of a cool down before the start of potentially another leg up where we go above the previous all-time high. And that's when I think we might actually get some kind of correction, like sometime in about 2 to 3 weeks around September. That's basically where I think it's going to happen. So listen, guys, if that sounds good to you, I know I'm not Sheldon. I know I'm a bit darker and a lot better looking. I need you guys to obliterate the like button. A lot better looking, you know that. Come on, obliterate the like button. Obliterate the like button. Let people know that we're here. Let people know we're having fun here. We're going to degen a little bit. Someone says here in the chat, ADA Doge link ALG. What's ALG? I don't think I've ever. Is it Algorand? That's ALGO. That's ALGO. The Momo team, always here, always strong. Okay, I see some of our regulars here in the chat. I also see some other people here in the chat. Let's get straight into what's actually causing these markets to behave the way they're behaving. As I've said to you, there is a symposium that's happening in Jackson Hole. Everybody is there. I've spoken to like hundreds of people in the crypto world, in the TradFi world. They're all there this week. And they're all expecting Powell to maybe give some kind of guidance about the way forward as it relates to rate cuts and whatever else. And so what you can see has been happening on the way to that is you can see that on the way to this Jackson Hole Symposium, the probabilities of a rate cut went from 100% now to 17.1%. That's also after the PPI data. And so what are people worried about? People are worried about that Powell's actually going to turn bearish or hawkish, as they say in Fed speak, at this Jackson Hole Symposium. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Powell's pretty much got a gun to his head and he has to start reducing rates. There's pretty much no way around that. And so what I think this is, and again, I'm one of these people that, I see what the market's giving me and you've got to take a view. And right now, what is my view? My view very simply is, look, unless we break this 111, I'm calling this nothing. If we break the 111, then I'm going to start keeping an eye on the market. I'm going to specifically start keeping an eye on the veracity or the intensity at which this market actually drops, right? If the market starts dropping a lot, then I'm going to conclude that the September correction is here maybe a little bit early. But right now, it doesn't feel like that. And I'll show you, like, again, my base case for why it doesn't feel like that is if I go back to 2021 and I look at the correction that happened in 2021, look how the September correction actually started. It started where on one day, literally Bitcoin went down on one day, it went down 20%. We've been down like 3-4%. That to me is not the beginning of a correction. The big corrections normally start when you get these big moves down. Otherwise, I've got to say, look, it's another one of these where we go up, 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 make a higher high, go slightly back down, and then go back and make a higher high over here. And that's what basically takes us up. So the essence is you pretty much got to take a view as to which way you're going. And providing you're not playing with too much leverage or whatever else, then it doesn't really matter, because say you call it wrong now, unless you're trading on like 10x or 50x leverage, which I hope you guys aren't doing for 50x leverage for big moves. I hope you guys are in protected positions. Then it doesn't really matter, because in my view, for sure, the cycle's not over. And if the cycle's not over, well, then we're going to go down here. And then, okay, maybe we'll go down to 110. Maybe we'll go down to 108. But then we're going to go back up and we're going to make a higher high. And that's pretty much where I want to position myself in the cycle. So I want to talk about the opportunity that it presents. As you know, I have dug deep into the world of bots. And the reason why I dug deep into the world of bots is because what I realized was I realized that there's two ways to trade. The one way is for you to trade. The problem is that when you and I are trading, we're trading on emotions. The other way is to actually let bots do the work for us. And I don't mean bots to do all the work for us, because the bots can't fill all the trades. But there are a whole lot of trades that bots can actually do much better than any human can actually do. One, because of emotion. Two, because bots trade all through the day and all through the night every time that they see an opportunity, right? And so I've put a lot of my money actually into bots. The big reason why I went into the specific bots that I'm actually talking about is because I started realizing the value of, or the power of, this bot compounding effect. And the reason why I think it's so powerful is because if you think about what your objective is in crypto, right? If you think about why you're here, and I'm trying to just get myself some rights to actually edit the spreadsheet. So if you think about why you're in crypto and why you're in altcoins, like you're probably in altcoins because you want to make yourself a, I don't know, 3, 4, 5x return by the end of the cycle. And you know, the truth is, if you think you're going to make 100x return on your altcoins by the end of the cycle, that's usually the cohort of people that land up getting wrecked. The cohort of people that land up making a lot of money is the cohort of people that say, I'm not here to make 100x, I'm here to make 5 or 6x, so that's more realistic. I'm not going to take crazy risks, but I'm going to work with a very well thought out plan to be able to actually execute on that plan. Now, I didn't realize this for a long time until I saw this spreadsheet. And I think it's very important that you actually pay attention to this spreadsheet. Because what this spreadsheet shows is if you start off with $1,000 and you can get 15% a month, and with bots, you can pretty much get that pretty easily. Then at the end of the first month, you've taken $1,000, you've made it into 1,150. But then you reinvest the 1,150. And by the end of the second month, if you can achieve the same results, you got yourself 1,323. But then you reinvest the 1,323. And then you got yourself 1,521. And then if you reinvest the 1,521 and you add 50%, you got 1,749. Now, when you take that for a year, what you realize is after a year, if you manage to get these returns, basically what you've got yourself is you've got yourself a 6x return on your money. And it's not by chasing meme coins or chasing highly speculative coins. It's just by going to get small victories and compounding your money again. And if you keep this momentum going through a bull market and through a bear market, which you can actually do with bots, you'll land up at the end of the cycle or at the end of 2 years with 32 times your money. Now, I don't know any altcoin that can do that. Unless you're willing to take a lot of money, a lot of chances on altcoins and stuff like that. I don't know any meme coin or any altcoin that does this with this kind of risk, right? And so that's why I turned to bots, because I was like, hold on. Of course I'm going to carry on with my normal investment strategies and my normal trading strategies. But I'm also going to take a small portion of my portfolio, and I'm going to put a small portion of my portfolio, and I'm going to put that portfolio into a whole lot of bots. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. And I've been testing this narrative and I've been testing this strategy, and it works. In fact, I'll show you some of the results that I've managed to achieve in these bots. I'm like on the bots that I've had running for quite a while. I've got an 𝗏 bot here. I mean, I'm up on this bot $1,000 on the actual bot, and I'm up an extra $284 just because the bot keeps trading in and out and in and out and in and out. So to me, I think this is a massive, massive, massive opportunity for anyone who wants to put some capital to work. I think you can pretty much get the same or similar results to trading altcoins with a little bit of the money. With a little bit of the actual money. So I want to show you guys exactly how I'm doing this, because I think this is the important part, is to understand exactly how to do this and exactly what the thinking is. But before we get there, I want you guys to understand how the world of bots has actually changed. In the past, bots were very, very, very hard to implement and very, very, very hard to get onto an exchange, right? Why? Because you needed to set an API. The bot was running separately from the exchange. You needed to change your API keys, give the bot a whole lot of access. But now you don't need to do that anymore, because there is an exchange. The exchange is called Pionex. And what they've done is they've actually integrated the bots into their exchange. And that's where the breakthrough actually happened, where they took their bots and they integrated their bots into their exchange. And so right now, when you want to use Pionex bots, they actually are integrated directly into the exchange. And I want to show you how they work. Because the other breakthrough that Pionex had was, instead of trading just the direction, in other words, instead of just trading the direction of the bot, what they started to do was they started to trade the grids in between the levels. So what I mean is, generally, if you were looking to set up or to trade, effectively what you're doing is you're setting up levels that you want to trade in and out on. So like, for example, on Bitcoin, let me get you guys a Bitcoin bot. And when you wanted to trade, let's say you thought that Bitcoin was going to go up, you'd say, okay, look, my starting price is 113,000. And I think that Bitcoin's going to go to 200,000 in the cycle. And so what you do is you'd leave the trade open and you'd kind of wait for this thing to actually trade. But here it's actually different. And I'll tell you why here it's actually different. Because with these grid bots, if you set the number of bots, you can actually tell the bot to keep trading in and out and in and out and in and out at every one of these levels. Now, that's something that a human could never, ever, ever do. A human could never, ever, ever trade in and out like these bots, like the bots are trading over here. And that's where the magic actually lands up happening, right? Because not only are you trading the direction of the trade, you can go long and you can go short, but you're also trading in and out and in and out and in and out all the time. And that's quite a big advantage. And I'll show you how that actually manifests, right? So if I go to some of the bots, which I'll do now, I'll show you some of the bots that I'm actually going in here. And if you go to some of the bots here, you can see that not only do you make money when the bot actually trades, but you also land up making money when the grid trades, when the bot goes in and out and in and out and in and out of the actual bot, right? So, 𝗪𝗪, is the counter working here? It feels like
glitching. It's glitching.
Yeah, it feels like the counter's glitching here. So you're trading in and out and in and out and in and out with the actual trade. So not only are you making money, like here, I took a Doge long and I entered the Doge long at 20,902. Doge is trading at 21.42 at the moment. And what you can see here is that I've made money on the trade, but I've also made money on the in and out. Now, here's a very good example of how powerful these bot strategies actually are. I entered a Bitcoin long trade. And in this Bitcoin long trade over here, what you can see is that I'm down because I got in at 115 and now Bitcoin's trading at 113. But even though I'm down on the bot trade over here, the grid has basically taken me up here. So you can see that on the grid, I'm actually very, very, very much up on the actual trade here, right? So it's a crazy thing where because the bot is trading in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, you land up actually making money on the in, out, which is what we call the grid profit, as well as making or losing money on the direction of the trade. So what does that do? Well, when the market's moving up, you're getting a double whammy because you're getting money on your trade and money on the grid. When the market's moving down, you're making money on the grid, but you're losing money on the trade, which is like, it's quite a good place. It's quite a good place to be. And I'll show you one thing about these bots that I've been playing with here. So no matter what my position is, no matter whether I entered or didn't enter correctly, all the grids are up. So this one I entered yesterday or the day before. I'm slightly down in the position because I bought in at 136, it's trading at 135. But I'm $20 up on the grid. And the same thing here, I entered this trade pretty late and it's slightly down on the trade itself, but I'm always up on the grid. And you can see that every single one of my grid profits is actually positive, like positive, 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 positive. You see? So all the grids are actually positive and the trades, some are positive currently and some are not positive currently. And that depends on how I want to position the trades. So with that in mind, I kind of want to show you 5 trades that I'm actually taking right now on the actual grids. I want to show you 5 trades that I'm actually taking now on actual tokens, and I want to show you why I'm taking the trades on the tokens, and I'm going to show you exactly how to set up the bots if you actually want to follow the trade. To do this, you need to have an account on Pionex. Now I know that there's some areas that Pionex doesn't actually work, but you need to have an account on Pionex. If you want to get an account on Pionex, it's pretty simple. You go to the link below, you sign up using that link over here, and you join and you get a sign-up bonus of up to $1,000. So like you have to do everything that it says in the sign-up bonus, and you get yourself up to $1,000 basically worth of trades. Once you do that, once you've got money in your Pionex account, you're pretty much good to go, and then you can actually start setting up the bots just like I'm about to show you now. So let me show you some of these bots and some of these trades. The first trade that I'm taking is a chain link trade. The reason why I'm taking a chain link trade is because chain link has become the XRP of the cycle. It's like the darling of the cycle. The reason why we like chain link so much, the reason why we like the chain link so much is because it fits into every narrative of the cycle. The first narrative is RWA. The second narrative is this whole US DeFi play. It's the biggest oracle in the market by far. And even though the market started to come down quite a bit, and most of the altcoins have started to come down quite a bit, the one that's actually broken out and is holding very, very well at the levels is Chainlink. And so what this shows me is that there's a whole lot of relative strength in Chainlink, and I want to capitalize on that relative strength. So to capitalize on the relative strength, what I'm basically doing is I'm picking a level on the chart, which is basically a level where I think the bot is not going to go too much above or below, right? And I'm kind of saying to myself, look, I want to capitalize on this level of, say, $21 here, or this level over here, which is $19. And I want to capitalize on all the upside to $45, right? Or even higher in the cycle. And so the way to do that is very simple. I go to Pionex, I go to futures, I go to futures trading bot. I click on create here. I pick the token that I actually want to create, which in this case is Link. And I'm doing it on a Link USDT pair. I put in the low, and I said to you the low is about $19. $19. And I take the high and I say, let's say I'm expecting Chainlink to go to about $45. Then I have to choose the number of grids. Now, what is the number of grids? That's the number of times that it's going to trade in, out, in, out, in, out, based on that grid strategy that we actually spoke about, right? So let's say we're talking about a 400 grid strategy. And the way to check whether you've got your grids correctly is to check the trading fees per grid. And it's if you're looking at like a trading fee of 0.14 per grid, then I think we're pretty much okay. So from there, you see I've got from 19 to 45, and I'm going to invest in this account. I've got 35K, so I'm going to go into a 5x leverage, and I'm going to put $2,500 into this pot. Okay. When I do that, it says to me, cool, you can do that. If you do, your liquidation price is $12. Now, I don't think Chainlink is going anywhere near $12. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to increase my leverage. I'm going to go from a 3x to a 5x leverage. Bang. Now it says, look, your liquidation price is at $14. I'm pretty okay with that. I don't think Chainlink's going to go back below $14, right? And so what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to take that bot and I'm basically going to create the bot. Now look what happens when I create the bot. It's taking my money right now and it's putting 40% of it into Link. 13% of it it's putting into USDT. And the reason why it's doing that is because, remember, it has to have Link to actually trade. If the price goes up, it needs to sell Link, right? That's what it does. It sells on the way up and it buys on the way down, right? So it needs to have Link. So by creating this actual bot, it's buying Link right now and it's getting ready to actually set up this bot. And if I press OK now, then this bot will actually be created and you guys can actually follow the bot. Now, the idea behind today is not that you guys actually copy this specific bot, even though I'll actually click yes. And now you guys can actually copy trade that bot. I'll leave a link to that bot below. I'm probably just going to send that link to the guys so that you guys can have the link at the bottom of the show. There we go. I'm going to quickly set it up here. There we go. Okay, so now you guys can basically copy that bot. So the first one that I would create is I'd create a Chainlink bot. Second token that I'd create a bot on is a token called Mantle. And the reason why I would set up a bot on this token called Mantle is because we know that the biggest product market fit in crypto right now, the places that are making the most money are the exchanges. And if you look at the exchanges, the BNB token or the the BNB token or the OKB token, those have been like the big performers of the cycle. So if I look at like in the last month, look at the ones that have actually performed well. The OKB's performed well, MNT's performed well. The reason why they're performing so well is because these are the exchange tokens. Up until now, Bybit haven't really had an exchange token. And this is like, you could say, almost the official launch of the Bybit exchange token, which is almost like their base or their layer 2, which is called Mantle, right? And they've taken their all-star team, Helen, who's the co-CEO of Bybit. She's become the main core contributor at Mantle. And so you can see that Bybit have really gone all in on this token. At the same time, the token's showing us a relative strength. And it's about to break out of this level over here, right? And so a good idea here is to set up a bot that says, look, I want to play this range, right? I don't want to get caught in the downside too much. I just want to get in the upside. So almost like set yourself a level here and say, look, from 115, 120, all the way up, I want to actually ride this bot. So how would I do that? I'd go back here. I'd click on futures bot. I would go to create a futures bot. I'd go to MNT, which is Mantle. I'd pick my price range, and I said the price range here is 120, so it's 1.2. And my top price range is say $2. Again, I'm going to go with 400 grids, not 4,000 grids. It's giving me, let's see if we can even go higher on the grids. Let's go to 300 grids. Okay, so that's the number of grids, 300 grids. And again, I can put like $2,500 into that bot. Now, what it says is this bot will trade on 3x leverage, but your liquidation price, as you can see here, is 77 cents. I'm going to go with a 5x leverage because I like being a little bit more aggressive. And here it's giving me a 95-cent liquidation price. Now, I think that's a pretty safe liquidation price. And so what I would do here is I would create that bot with that range. I'm not going to create it because I've already got a Mantle bot that's actually running, right? And what you can see is then that will trade in and out and in and out and in and out of the actual range. I'll give you another example. I'm not going to set up that bot because I've already got a Mantle bot. You can copy my Mantle bot here. Here, you can actually copy my Mantle bot. There it is. It's that bot over here. If you want to copy the settings. All right, next one that I want to play this cycle, and again, I'm giving you some real altcoin alpha here. Is I want to be playing Sonic, and the reason why I want to be playing Sonic is because up until now, Sonic has been relatively quiet. They've been like the quiet bunch. And that's because Andre Cronje, who's the founder of Sonic, he's been working very, very, very hard. Someone's going to say he's got the 𝗥𝗍𝗄 balls in hands. The 𝗥𝗍𝗄 balls are right here, sir. The 𝗥𝗍𝗄 balls are right here. Okay, so I want to actually capitalize on this. I don't think that Sonic is going much below the 27 range. You see, like the low that it's been at in the recent past is 27. I don't think it's going to go much below 27. So what I would do here is, again, I'd set up a Sonic bot. And the reason why I'm setting it up is because I actually think that Andrei Cronje has been working on something. Well, I know he's been working on something because here's the pitch deck, which I'm not really allowed to show you guys, but you guys are seeing it here. But they're raising $1 billion, $1 billion, you heard that correctly, for an exchange called Flying Tulip, which is probably Andrei Cronje's answer to Uniswap plus Hyperliquid. That's pretty much Andrei Cronje's answer, and it's built on Sonic. Now, if he raises that $1 billion, and I kind of believe that he may raise the $1 billion, you can see the minimum check size is $2.5 million, then I think that this token will actually start moving, right? So what do? I pick my range. I say, okay, look, my range is going to be from 27 upwards, and then I'm going to let it go for the rest of the cycle, right? So I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to go futures bot, and I'm going to go Sonic, which is SUSD, and I'm going to pick the range, which is 0.27. And I'm going to go to the highest price, which is, I think for now, let's just give it like a 0.6. We can always change that, right? I'll show you in a second how you change it. I'm going to go with 400 grids again. And the investment amount on you know me, I only play 5x leverage. I don't know 3x leverage. That's for ants. 5x leverage. I'd put in a $2,000 amount here, and it would give me a liquidation price of 21. Okay, now I can go much more than that. So I would go maybe to a 7x leverager. It would give me a liquidation price of 22 cents. I'm pretty comfortable with that, right? And then I would click create. And if I did create this bot, it would trade in and out anywhere between 0.27 and 0.6. It would do it at about 400 different price levels. And effectively, I'd start making money not only on the trade, but actually on the in and out all the time, right? And so that's another bot that I would actually be creating. The fourth one that I'd be creating is actually on Pump Fun. I love this token, guys. Reason why I love Pump Fun is because they are still the king of, Pump is still the king of the trenches. They rule the trenches. There was a period where Bonk was making a lot of waves, but we know that Pump's got the market share back. We also know they've got $2 billion worth of cash, right? So what are they going to do? Are they going to let people be under the ICO price for a long time? They're not going to do that, okay? And so I believe that it went here, it touched the $4, and the next couple of days, when the market recovers, it's going to go back here and eventually break above this 0.0004 range. And so again, the bot that I'd go there is I'd go back here. I would trade, I would look for the Pump Fund pair. I hope there is a Pump Fund pair. There is a Pump USD perp. I would go from 0.0025 all the way up to 0.006. And again, I'd give it 400 grids to trade in and out of. Again, now here I'm going to do something. I want to show you a different thing. When you press auto reserve, the auto reserve section, it decides how much money to keep in reserve. If you unclick it and you say, okay, listen, I'm going to put $2,000 as a direct investment in here. It's telling you that on a 5x, which is the standard leverage, the liquidation price is 23.82. Now that's a little bit uncomfortable for me if there's a correction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add in extra margin, $500. Okay, still not enough. Let's add in $1,000 extra margin. And now I've reduced my liquidation price to 0.2. Okay. Now, all I would do is I would click create. I'm not going to create this bot. In fact, I don't actually mind creating this bot. And what it's doing is 54% of the money it's going to buy Pump Fund straight away. 12% it's going to keep in US dollars, and 33% it's keeping in the reserve just in case we actually need it. And I'm actually going to create that bot over there, and I'm going to copy the bot. I'm going to give you guys the link to actually be able to copy the bot if you guys want to copy those specific settings. Now, I want to show you how easy it is for you guys to actually copy the settings. If you want to copy the settings, you literally go to the bottom of this video and you click that. And just by saying copy the bot, you guys would copy the exact settings that I've actually set up. If I'm not going to do it because I've already got the bot running, right? And so you can either do that, or you can land up actually using or creating your own bots the way that I've actually showed you how to create these bots. And that's like basically what I'd be doing. Now, the last one that I want to talk to you guys about is Ethena. Because look, we know that Ethena has been grinding. They've got a treasury company. We know that treasury companies are what's powering the cycle, right? And so, yes, this is a dip in Ethena, but we also know that there's the treasury company is about to deploy $500 million actually buying back the coin, right? Don't ask how we know that. We know it. Don't ask how we know it. I said, don't ask how we know. Okay. Someone says, please tell me the bots also make coffee. The bots don't make coffee, bro. Okay. So here I'd create a bot that says from about 50 cents all the way up to previous all-time high. I'd create that bot. So here, what I'd do is I'd say create bot. I'd go to Ethena, USDT. I would go from 0.50 cents and I'd go all the way up to $1. I'd again give it about 400 grids. The more grids you have, the more it's going to trade in and out, the more money you're going to make on the bot. Again, I put in $2,000. I put it on a 5x retail. It tells me my liquidation price is about 38 cents. I'm pretty comfortable with 38 cents. In fact, let's take off auto reserve and let's put in $2,000 ourselves. 50 cents is too low for me. Let's add another $1,000. Okay, that reduces me to 42 cents. I think I'm comfortable with that. Okay, I would click create and that would create the bot. Simple. So what I'm trying to show you is that you can actually create income with the bots that trades not only on the way up or on the way down, but you can also trade on the grid, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And very often what's going to land up happening is even if you call the trade completely wrong, and I really hope you're not calling the trades completely wrong, but even if you are calling the trades completely wrong, you can make money. It's like this one's already made 7 cents on the grid and a dollar on the actual position. But even if you call the trade wrong, the grid is trading in, out, in, out, in, out, and in, out. And that's how you land up making a lot more money. And again, what is the objective here? The objective is just to keep compounding your money every single month. Now, let me show you how you compound your money. So let me go to a trade where I've actually made money. First thing is, don't worry about the actual whether you set up the bots 100% correctly, because you can change everything. You can adjust your margin to make sure you don't get liquidated. You can click on release the profit, and that means that I could take out all the profit that I've made. I could actually take that out and draw it into my account. You could do everything else. I mean, you could reduce investment, you could edit the price range, or you could compound your investment. Now, what does compound the investment mean? It means that on the Solana bot, which has been a great bot, by the way, I set it up on the 1st of August. Now, that Solana bot is up 1,200 on the actual range of Solana, but it's also up on the bot $322, believe it or not. And so I've made money on the grid and I've made money on the trade, which is like, it's amazing. If I wanted to compound that money, in other words, to take this money and add it to my original investment, okay? All I do is I go here, I say compound, and I press, I'm not going to actually do it, confirm. And now, instead of trading on the original $5,000 that I actually put in, I've compounded it. So I'm starting to achieve this effect, like adding the 1,150 here to make it 1,323. And so you're getting the power of compounding. And so that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you that I think with the Jackson Hole Symposium, probably going to be a nothing burger, or maybe not a nothing burger, but I don't think it's going to be the beginning of this like crazy correction. One of the ways to capitalize on your upside is actually to set up these bots. Again, if you want to do it, pretty simple. Go to Pionex, use the link below actually to get into Pionex, which is, yeah. Sign up, get up to $1,000 sign up bonus, and then you can set up all these bots. Now, these bots that I've set up are pretty broad. They're like from a 50 cents on Ethena all the way up to $1 on Ethena. But you can set up like a bot for 2 weeks, and then the bot will trade for 2 weeks, and then, okay, that's the end of the trade. And then you've made money on the trade, and you've made money on the bot. So these are slightly longer ones. If you are a short time frame trader, then you can set them up with your own short time frames, right? Someone here says, what? Sorry, I lost that. The comments are moving here. Someone said like something like, what's the best grid profit to target? Look, I'm targeting 15+% a month. Why am I targeting 15+% a month? I'll show you, right? Because I'm working to this strategy over here. But now, let's just say that you don't get 15, you only get 10. In a year, 10%. Let me just re-log in on that spreadsheet. So If you only get 10% and you go 10% all the way down, after a year, you've still got 3.5 times your money if you only manage to get 10%, right? If you keep compounding once a month, which is what I'm doing here, I'm compounding once a month. And after 2 years, you're getting yourself 10x your money. If you can do 20%, and again, I don't know if you can do 20%, I'm just showing if you can do 20%, what happens to the money, then you get 95 times your money at the end of 2 years. So again, this is a different strategy. It's not about holding very risky altcoins. This is a way of actually making money by compounding small returns, return after return after return, and it actually lands up being more powerful than actually using the bot, actually buying a lot of altcoins. The good thing about the bots is if you think that the market's going to turn, what you can do is you can actually do short bots. So you can actually, I've done long because I think the direction of the market's up. But if you want, you can just click here and go short. And then you're trading all the way down. But I'm not doing that in the bull market. There's no chance that I'm doing those kind of bots. Are the Blofin bots as good as the Pionex bots? The Blofin bots are very different. There, you are copying an account where the bot is trading on the other side. You're not actually setting up a bot on your account. And they don't have the grids the same way that the Pionex ones have the grids. The reason why I love the Pionex ones is because the Pionex ones actually have the grids. That's why I'm using the Pionex one so much. All right, listen. So that's it for now. I just wanted to show you this before my big show today. I'm doing a big show later talking about all the nerves in the market. I'm sure I'll see a lot of you guys there. Until then, let the bots trade for you guys, my friends.